Hello everyone, welcome back. In this lesson, we'll look at some Angular 2 quick example. Specifically, it will be a quick start, like welcome page. And let's just open our browser and search for Angular 2. So here is the website for Angular 2, and we can click on Get Start. And we'll be brought to a page saying the quick start. And specifically, this is for the TypeScript version. So you may know that Angular 2 also supports JavaScript version and Dart version, but most popular one is the TypeScript. And in this course, we'll be focusing on the TypeScript as well. And if you scroll down, basically we are expecting to have a page displaying my first Angular app. And if you click on this link, it will have a live example that is already implemented in Plunker. So basically, Plunker is an online JavaScript, TypeScript, or web front-end development environment. And you can see there are a bunch of files already implemented, and the outlook, the layout is displayed here. Okay, so here are some live examples. If you have some problem with the script or code, you can come here and take a look. But what we will do is that see here we have several steps to go through to get the environment set up and running, and we'll be following those steps in this lesson. And before that, we need to install some of the text editors that you prefer. So the one popular for Angular 2 would be Atom. So Atom is a free text editor developed by GitHub team, and specifically it has a lot of third-party plugins that you can install and use. And one of the plugins is the supporting package for TypeScript. So if you install that, there will be supporting for the syntax and highlights in TypeScript. Okay, so depending on the system, you need to download the corresponding version. So I'm using Windows. I need to download the Windows installer and then install it. After you install Atom, you want to search for the package and find the TypeScript that has the most downloads, and you need to install that package. All right. Since I've already done that, I'll just get rid of it. The steps. And another thing is that you might want to set up your environment variable. So that's just for the convenience that you can run it on the command line. So you can see here I have a, let's see, yeah, right here. So I have a path pointing to the atom bin, which will have the atom.exe file, so that I can directly run on a terminal. So in this case, if I just open the terminal and type in atom dot, so in this case, Tom will be brought up and running. Okay, so you might want to configure your own system for that, but this is just a shortcut on the terminal. So let's come back to our web, the steps for building this application. And the prerequisite is that you need to have Node.js and npm installed. So npm is coming with Node.js. As long as you have installed Node.js, it should be good. And to install that is pretty straightforward. You just go to Node.js website and download it and install it. Okay, so you can download whatever version you have. This one is recommended, or you can use this one, doesn't really matter. And then after that, if you type in node -- version npm -- version, and if you can find the corresponding versions for those two, you should be good to go for the prerequisite. Okay, so the first step is that we need to create a project folder. So come to whatever folder path that you like. You can make a dir called Angular Quickstart. Okay, and we're gonna cd into that. So we are currently at the Angular Quickstart folder. Okay, so we're gonna create this 4 files: package.json, tsconfig.json, typings.json, system.js.config.json, JS file. Sorry. Okay, so we're gonna do that one by one. So as you can see, I have already implemented these 4 files based on the description here and the code content here. Okay, so this 4 files basically are used to configure the environment for Angular 2. Okay, so this package.json file is used to identify the npm package dependency for the project, and the config.json defines how the TypeScript compiler generates JavaScript from the project's file. Typings.json provides additional definition files for libraries that the TypeScript compiler doesn't natively recognize. And system.js.config.js provides information to a module loader about where to find application modules and register all the necessary packages. So I'm not going to go through the detail of those, as pretty much this is just one-time setup thing. And after that, you will be modifying and implementing the TypeScript content instead of modify the configuration files here. Okay. And next, what we need to do is to install the package. And the package installed is directed by package.json. Okay. So what we can do is that we just simply type in npm install. So this will launch the npm command, and this which will be running the installing dependency based on the package.json file. So I'll just pause the video to let it finish loading, upgrading. It will take a little while depending on your network speed and your hardware performance. Okay. So after you finish installing those packages, and if you come back to the browser, so the error message in red might appear during the install, and you might see the npm warning message. As long as there are no npm error $sign messages at the end, you can assume it's successful. Okay, and you should now have the following structure. We have the 4 files that we have defined previously, and now also we have the node_modules and typings folders added. So if we type ls, we should be able to see that. Okay, so that means we are so far so good. And the next is just one quick note, is that if the typings folder doesn't show up after running npm install, you'll need to install it manually with the command npm run typing install. Okay. The next thing is to create your application. So we have to be residing in the Angular Quickstart folder. Then we can make a dir called app. Okay, we're gonna cd into that folder, and we're gonna create some files here. The first one will be app.module.ts. So come back to our Atom editor. So right click on the app folder, say new file, app.module.ts. Okay, we're gonna copy the code and paste into it. So basically this is the entry point for your application. And you can take a look at more details if you want. We need to create a component and add it to your application. So still within app folder, we're gonna create the app.component.ts file. So we're gonna right click and say new file, app.component.ts, and we're gonna copy the content here and paste into it. And so basically we have created a component, okay? And within this app.module.ts file we created previously, we need to modify a little bit. Specifically, we are importing this app component. Okay, so let's just copy and paste it into the app.module.ts file. I'll simply just overwrite it. Okay, the next step is to create a file called main.ts. So that would be still within our app folder. We're gonna create a file called main.ts and copy the content here, paste it. So it might be a little confusing that we have main.ts and app component files as well. And basically explains here, app bootstrapping is a separate concern from creating a module or present in view. Okay, so that's basically two different concepts. That's why we have two separate files. And next, in the project root folder, create an index.html file. Okay, so we're gonna, within the root folder, which is the Angular-Quickstart folder, not the app folder, right? We're gonna create a new file called index.html. And we're gonna paste in the content we just copied. Okay. And also we're gonna add some styles. So we'll be creating a styles.css into it. Specifically, I mean, again, it should be in the Angular-Quickstart. So it will be styles CSS. Does it have an S? Styles, okay. All right. And then we can try to run it npm start. Just come back to your terminal and run npm start. And the system will, compile and start the application. It will be hosted on localhost port 3000 by default. It might take a little while to, compile several things. Okay, there we go. We have my first Angular app set up. That's good. So that's pretty much for this lesson. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.